Welcome, guys. Episode 3 of the Bounce House. Charge on, baby. Let's get it. All right, guys, welcome back. So, today, something I've been dying to talk about. Literally dying. Sorry this video took so long to come out. You know, the whole thing with the virus and everything. Prep has been going crazy here in South Florida, but we're working through. We'll touch a little bit on that at the end. So today what we're going to talk about is 2020 signing class recap. The original signing day that we all used to know and love in February, that's no longer a thing. Now we're early signing period in December. But you know, at the end of the day, the full classes aren't ranked until February, and that's what we're going to discuss today. Overall, UCF in the overall ranking finished 71st. Now, that is highly disappointing to me. It's not about the stars, and we're going to talk about why. The reason that it's highly disappointing to me is because no, I do not expect us to bag a bunch of 4 stars, 5 stars. We're a G5 school. I get that. I do, however, expect us to finish near the top of the AAC. And definitely, we are the most recognizable brand in all of Power 5. You could argue Boise State, but Boise State, come on, man. They're in Boise, Idaho. Who in the hell wants to go play? Orlando? Boise, it ain't, no, let's stop it. We're going to stop that right now. But when you look at the rankings, Cincinnati finished 40th, which is unbelievable. They've had back-to-back great years. They have not won a conference championship. They have not won a New Year's Six Bowl. It's Cincinnati. They got 3 4-star recruits. 3 4-star recruits. UCF has never pulled more than 1 in our entire school history in one recruiting cycle. But you know what? That's okay. Those years where a school has an unbelievable recruiting class, that's going to happen. It is what it is. This is where I have a problem. Now, when we move up through the rankings, Boise State comes in 65. Tulane, 66. Memphis, 67. Memphis, again, understandable. Memphis they've played in 3 straight American championships, lost twice to us. Last year, they took matters into their own hands, and they spanked convincingly in back-to-back week Cincinnati. Lost in the Cotton Bowl in New Year's Six. But it's okay. They had an unbelievable season. That program's trending. They just lost their coach to go to FSU, promoted from within. They're keeping that culture. That team is loaded. They finished 67th. No issue with that. 68th, North Texas. My God, where do we even start? What is a North Texas? What is this? What? North Texas. 69th, Toledo. And this is where it gets the most insulting. 70th, East Carolina. Arguably the worst American program. Now that UConn's gone, East Carolina, a team that has not been relevant since the Hail Mary from Holman to Perriman to win the conference championship when ECU was already celebrating on the field in 2014, ladies and gentlemen. East Carolina, and at 71st, UCF. Now, we can argue stars don't matter, and I agree with you. We've seen it time and time again, 2-star, 3-star recruits that come to UCF, they get polished up, they go to the NFL. Hell, we can talk about literally Power 5 programs like Clemson, Isaiah Simmons, who's going to be a consensus top 10 pick Was a 3-star linebacker out of Kansas with barely any offers. They brought him in, developed him. Dude is a first rounder. Undersized, too slow, yada, yada. You know what 3-star means. Ain't good enough for the big boys. So that's my beef. So now we're going to move on to UCF as it stands in the American. As far as UCF's ranking in the American, so UCF came in again, naturally ranked 71st. In the American, we finished 5th. That is a huge problem. If there's one thing that I can complain about Josh Heupel and the staff, I feel like Randy Shannon's doing the heavy lifting. Another big loss was our offensive coordinator, who just went with Lane Kiffin to Ole Miss. He was responsible for recruiting Mikey Wright, and if you listen to an interview Mikey Wright had with Rivals, he talks about the reason why he decommitted from UCF was the second our OC left to Ole Miss. Then he explored his options, ended up with Vandy. It is what it is. Josh Heupel and the rest of these boys gotta get it together. I do not expect us to be a top 25 class of the G5 program. That's unrealistic. We know the field we're playing in. We know the recruiting budgets. We know the facilities, even though we're coming up. We know the chance at a playoff game matters. All those things. But I do expect us to be number 1 in the American every single year. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to go over all the prospects. Overall, we had 20 people that signed. But what we're going to do is I'm going to touch on 3 key players, and I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, the guy I want to talk to is Paul Rubel. Paul Rubel is an offensive lineman out of Germany. You heard that right, Germany. The dude is a monster. I encourage all of you guys check out some of his highlight tape. You can find it. He's 6'10", 285 pounds. If there's one thing we know, we can develop old linemen. So I am excited to see he's rough. You know, for a guy that has not a lot of experience, to be a pretty high 3-star recruit tells you a lot about what people feel about him. And let's see what you can turn into. At 6'10", this dude has the ability and hopefully the potential to turn into an absolute beast. The next guy we're going to talk about is our highest rated recruit in the class, and his name is Josias Cradle. Josias Cradle, maybe? I'm not sure. Apologize to you, my boy, if I called your name wrong. This is a stud, a 6'4", 195-pound receiver. We know for years the wide receiver position has been loaded. Losing Gabe Davis obviously hurts, but next year we got Trey Nixon. We got Marlon Williams. We got Kevion Ahmad. We got a bunch of guys that are coming in to step in, but this is a guy that could be part of that next class to just keep the wide receivers coming at UCF. So I'm excited about him. We're going to talk about a little bit about his offers here. Bear with me for 1 second. So when we look at some of his offers, the guy had a pretty impressive list of offers. So, sorry. Here we got, he had offers from Indiana. He had offers from Oregon. He had offers from South Carolina. He had offers from Tennessee. He had offers from Virginia, Wake Forest. So that is a pretty nice list of Power 5 programs. So be able to snatch that away, that is a pretty impressive feat for Josh Heupel and the boys. If I'm going to critique them on one end, we got to give praise on the other end. They did a good job there. Another guy that I'm going to highlight here, his name is Marcus Tatum. The reason I'm going to highlight him, he's the only grad transfer that we had from another program. He's immediately eligible to play. He was a former 3-star recruit that's coming from the University of Tennessee. The reason why I'm highlighting him is because O-line is a position of need. We just lost 3 guys, 3 starters. So I think Marcus has a chance to come in and jump into the fray right away. He started a good amount of games in Tennessee, so he should be able to mix in the role. Overall, I mean, it's a solid class when you think about what our needs are, where our team stands, what holes we had, who we have coming back. We're not a team that needs guys to step in immediately. However, this is year 4 now of the total rebrand that UCF did. where we've won. This is the 4th year we're expected to win 10 plus games, compete for a New Year's Six Bowl. If things go our way, be a first G5 program that bursts into the playoff scene. That's not good enough. And they should know it's not good enough. Now, it doesn't mean you can't be happy with what we pulled in. Doesn't mean these guys, 5 of these guys can't turn into future first rounders. But if you look at the overall numbers, it is just not good enough. One last thing we're going to talk about, obviously everything that's going on with the coronavirus. First of all, guys, stay safe. Follow everything that you're being told out there. As it pertains to us, the NCAA tournament was canceled. The AAC basketball championship was canceled. So it's sad for our senior boys on the basketball team that didn't get that chance. We know the season wasn't that great. Now we hope for after last year's magical year. However, that's the beauty of college basketball, man. Anything can happen in the conference championship, and these boys deserve the shot. All spring sports basically have been canceled as well. So it's going to be rough. Danny White, if you heard his press conference, he was frustrated that it was canceled and not postponed. He felt like some of these athletes definitely deserved a shot to compete. They worked all year hard, and I know it's brutal to not end the way you would have hoped or not even get a shot to end the way you hope. You would expect, as of right now, I hadn't heard anything about the spring game being canceled, but that seems like a given. No need to take that unnecessary risk. But that's it for this episode, guys. Thank you. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, write a comment, hit that like, and see you guys next week. Charge on, baby.